Hey guys, this is Jesse from the ScreenFellas podcast, here to bring you some Star Wars stuff. We realize that many of you either don't have time or don't really want to take the time to read a lot of the new Star Wars content, whether it's novels, comics, or whatever. So, we've decided to do that for you here and bring you the most relevant information. In this first episode, I'll be telling you about Catalyst, the novel leading up to Rogue One, so that you'll know everything you need to know before you go see the movie. So needless to say, if you plan on reading this book later, then do not watch anymore.
Do or do not. There is no try.
Our story begins with Galen and Lyra Erso on the planet Vault, where they are doing research into how to provide affordable energy to struggling planets using synthetic kyber crystals. If you don't know, kyber crystals are rare, slightly force-sensitive crystals that the Jedi use to power their lightsabers. Soon though, the Separatists invade Vault and the two are imprisoned in separate areas, so that Lyra can receive the care that she needs because she's pregnant, and Galen is held prisoner in their high-security area. When Jen is born, Galen is allowed to be present and nicknames her Stardust because of the flecks of light in her eyes. They are soon after rescued by the Republic, by Galen's university friend Orson Krennic, with the help of the Druselian smuggler Has Obit. Orson, we eventually learn, sits on a council analyzing the plans for a giant battle station that was stolen from the Geonosians after the Second Battle of Geonosis. These plans are analyzed so that they can figure out how they can be put into use to protect the Republic and are kept very secret. Orson is put into a high-ranking position in his field and is leading the charge of engineering the battle station into life. We get a great look into Orson's character as he plays the long game of slowly boring and adding more and more pressure to Galen, so that he will eventually begin helping with the project, even though he refuses to do any work for the military. In the meantime, Galen is questioned by Moff Tarkin because of his imprisonment by the Separatists, and when he's eventually cleared, Galen moves on to more menial research elsewhere in the galaxy. Orson involves Poggle the Lesser in the building of the battle station, offering limited freedom to him if he cooperates. If you remember, Poggle the Lesser was the leader of the Geonosian forces in Attack of the Clones. Eventually though, Poggle betrays them and escapes to join his fellow separatist, Count Dooku. After a horrific experience with some battle droids and a very lucky sudden end to the war, the Erso family finally survives the end of the Clone Wars. After returning to Coruscant, Galen is persuaded to join Project Celestial Power, where he will be able to once again work at providing power to less fortunate planets. This, of course, is all a lie from Orson to get Galen to build the weapon for the Death Star without him knowing it. In this program, Galen has unlimited access to a giant kyber crystal the size of a small house. This is because the Jedi are no longer around to guard the use of these crystals. Galen discovers that the kybers are nearly alive and able to do amazing things. Galen quickly becomes obsessed with the crystals and turns his back on his family for his research. Orson sends Lyra away on a mission to get her away from Galen because he thinks that she may be a distraction. With the help of Has Obit, the Druselian smuggler from earlier, Lyra discovers that many worlds are being destroyed by the Empire for some project, which we know is the Death Star. Has decides to fight back against this by gathering a force of fellow smugglers to fight the Empire and end up fighting Tarkin. In the ranks of his rebellious band is Saw Gerrera, who fought for the Clone Wars and who will be making a reappearance in Rogue One along with the Ersos. Eventually, after a few implied threats and many concerns, the Erso family is brought back together and plans their escape from Krennic's compound. They of course run into trouble and end up being flown away by Saw Gerrera to a remote planet where I assume they will be hiding until the events of Rogue One. A few key things from this novel are that we learn a lot about kyber crystals and how they work, that they're essentially alive with the Force, and that their power is just monumental. We see a lot of input from Tarkin that I wasn't able to go into, but I encourage you to go back and read the book anyway, because there's a lot of great character building from him. It was also really cool to see more of Saw Gerrera. He's played somewhat of a minor role in the Clone Wars series back in the day, and now he's back in the movie. And I really like how we can see in this a little bit of a transformation between him being a wild and crazy young man to a little bit more of a level-headed guy. Alright, well thanks for listening. Hopefully you liked this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel at ScreenFellas. Check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. And be sure to let me know in the comments what you want me to talk about next. Until next time, this has been ScreenFellas.